Hey everyone, welcome to day number 29 of Project 365. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to postpone the Evolution for Dummies series because I particularly am not feeling too well. Despite me sounding decent, I mentally and, well, physically feel like crap, so, yeah. However, today I figured, hey, you know what I'll do instead? I'll tackle an issue that many people seem to have an issue with, and that is, not many people, many atheists, or at least most atheists I know, often have to debate this and, debate it in terms of when they're dealing with theists. But, the issue of evil. Now, personally, I don't really feel that there's any evil in the world because, technically speaking, evil only exists because of the meaning we give it. By the same standards that we consider evil, a lion killing a gazelle would be evil. However, we often shrug it off and say it's a circle of life. Well, theoretically speaking, so would another human killing another human. I mean, that doesn't make it any less wrong. That doesn't let us, or that shouldn't let us just simply shrug it off. However, looking at it objectively without any sort of I can't say morality, but any sort of emotional feeling attached to murder or genocide or stuff like that. It's simply a natural process done via unnatural means that we as a progressive human civilization have set up and have allowed to happen. So, logistically speaking, take Hitler's killing of 11 million people. There's a few reasons why it occurred. I understand that, but generally speaking, the fact that it occurred is as evil as, say, us making another animal extinct. So, again, it's just something that people really should think about in the grand scheme of things. I mean, like I said, just because evil doesn't exist, personally to me doesn't exist, doesn't mean that I believe that we should go around killing and stuff like that. Because I do have my morality about me, and I think that whenever you're impeding on someone's rights, you should be stopped. But I'm talking semantically that there is no such thing as evil. And while I'm on that note of talking about things that atheists ponder or think about, I really don't have a theory about how life began. I mean, technically speaking, I'll say that I think the Big Bang is a decent theory, but I personally don't believe in either the God creation or the Big Bang, because, logistically speaking, they both sound just as insane. Either A, some omniscient, omnipotent being created everything, or B, singularity that contained all mass, matter, time, and energy created everything. So either way, it still doesn't explain the start of existence. It just creates something else that we can look at. And I often feel the Big Bang panders to the atheistic crowd, while the theists tend to lean towards the whole God thing. So personally, I really don't have a stance on that, because until there is more conclusive evidence towards something, it's hard to really choose something to believe in. I mean, I'm sure someone can start citing scientific evidence off the top of their head that supports the Big Bang, but from the research I've done, and I've done plenty of research, the most that we can do with the Big Bang is trace it back to up to seconds before the Big Bang happened. But we can't trace what events were the causation for the Big Bang or anything like that. So, and even then there's also the theory of a recycling universe, to where it expands and shrinks, and then even then you have to go back to the point to where when did that very first expansion occur, and then from there you have to decide, do you only accept the fact that it was a never-ending cycle, because even something that was never-ending had to start at some point. Or do you try and figure out where that first point was? So, I mean, really, there is no concrete explanation for the beginning of existence. So it just depends on what you believe. Do you believe in God? If so, you go with the God theory. If you don't, what do? You go to the Big Bang. I mean, generally speaking, those are the two accepted ideologies as to how the existence came. Well, there's that, and then how did life begin? Well, that was from some crystals floating around, or something like that. So even the start of life has some really tricky parts to it, which I do want to cover at some point. Also, for those of you who are not wondering, but for those who care to listen, if you feel that evolution is supposed to explain the beginning of life, it doesn't. It explains how we developed over time, not just it doesn't explain how life began. For that, you'd have to look at a biogenesis or a few other different theories out there. But generally speaking, evolution via natural selection only explains how the species living today came to be how they are today, and the pre-existing species before they came to be, if that makes sense, and all subsequent species thereafter or beforehand. So yes, I guess today was just gonna be a random video day, because like I said, I don't feel too good, and so I'm gonna postpone Evolution for Dummies, because I guess since I'm not feeling too well, I figured I would go ahead and work on fact-checking everything and making sure everything is as accurate as possible, including my explanations and my simple minded explanations, because I really dumbed things down in order to ensure a maximum understanding for evolution. So that is pretty much it. Question for today. Let's go with, how do you think existence began? Do you feel that we were created by some omniscient, omnipotent being, or do you feel there is a Big Bang, or do you have an alternative theory that you'd like to throw out there? Perhaps you'd like to run around with the, would it be escapist or surrealist idea that perhaps we're just all a dream? It's really a trip as to think about our existence like that, but it's really an interesting theory too, is the fact that we as existence now are just one person's dream, or one computer's algorithm or something. But again, these are just different theories and different people have had. Although I think, therefore, I am kind of disproves a few of them. But then again, it leaves a lot of things to question. Anyway, I'm just rambling at this point. So, I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.